Today, I'm here with Niall, Ellen and Anne from BrightPay Payroll Software, and we're going to be looking at how their software can improve your payroll bureau, along with BrightPay Connect, and how it can connect you more closely with your customers and make the whole experience more seamlessly. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Let's get started. If you've got any questions this morning, if you could post them in the Q&A box, that's the best place for them to go. And as I always say at the beginning of these sessions, we love stupid questions. So stupid questions are the easy ones to answer. So if you feel as though you've got a stupid question that you can't ask or didn't ask, then pop them in the Q&A box because we will love them and I will obviously look stupid on your behalf. We don't like the hard ones so much, but also feel free to ask those too. And as I say, if you post them in the Q&A box, which is at the right hand side of your raised hand button at the end of or at the bottom of your Zoom screen, please pop them in there. And the chat box we can keep free to if you want to share with us or make any observations. I know lots of people on the call this morning are already BrightPay customers and are looking to expand their knowledge around BrightPay and BrightPay Connect and everything that we're going, the roadmap as well. We've got some interesting conversations about what the future holds for BrightPay. So in the green room, we have three people from BrightPay this morning. We have Niall, who should be turning his camera on now. Brilliant. Good morning, Niall.
Morning.
Good morning. And I'm going to hand over to Niall in a little while. And then in the background, we've got Ellen and Anne as well, who are going to join us or join Niall, I should say, at various sections of this morning's meeting. So without further ado, I will hand over to Niall with a virtual round of applause. Good morning, Niall.
Very much. Means a lot. So look, I'll share my screen. So give me 2 moments there, Simon, and hopefully this should be popping up for everyone. Let me know if that's...
Yeah, I can see that now. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, look, first and foremost, thanks Simon and Mark for the introduction and also for the wonderful opportunity of speaking with you and your network of accountants and bureaus here today. When first, mentioned to us, we almost put the hand off for this session to happen. So really, really grateful for the opportunity. And as you can see, my name is there and my colleagues there also. And a little fun fact, today is actually my birthday. So I myself included that little clip art. Turned 30 today, so I can't think of a better birthday present to ring in the new decade, if I say so myself. Birthday wishes in the chat are most welcome, although not mandatory. And on the topic of introductions, I have Ellen Lally and of course Anne Ty, and a wealth of experience between the both of them. And I think I can speak for all of us when I say we're all very excited to give you a small glimpse as to why so many fellow bureaus are now choosing our solution to streamline and automate their payroll processes. And also a big welcome from all of us to all of you who, of course, set time aside for today's session. I genuinely mean that. It's never easy setting time aside as we approach end of year. And as per the calendar invite, the main reason for today's session is to give a high-level overview on how you or your payroll teams can save time using our solution. And for peace of mind, I just want to say that this webinar is, of course, being recorded, as Simon mentioned, and our deck here today is available for anyone who wishes for them afterwards. So no worries on that front. So I suppose sticking with the agenda, what have we got planned for today? And with our solutions, Payroll and Connect, we're going to be covering these main areas. So the first one is integrating your payroll solution with pension and accounting systems. The next one, of course, is how batch processing can transform your payroll performance, especially for those single directors, which can be awkward, to put it lightly. The third one, how you can streamline client communications using both of our solutions. The fourth one, detailing change. We can speak about features right up until midnight, but the change is a big one and how our team can assist from the very outset. And of course, the questions and answer session, as questions come along, we'll tackle them all. So I suppose the question is, why ourselves? So sticking with the first one, batch payroll processing, I should say. A common complaint we hear from accountants day in, day out is that, single director companies are not worth their while. And it can be quite time consuming to process the payroll for just one employee. And it is, an area of payroll where there is little return on investment quite usually. Let's be honest, all of us need to maximize the time in our work days that bring the most revenue. You need to keep an eye out for software providers that make your life easier when it comes to payroll tasks, rather than getting, sucked into basic admin work that takes up so much time in the day. If you're using a payroll software that has batch payroll processing abilities, such as ourselves, you can finalize pay slips, check for coding notices, and send outstanding RTI and CIS submissions for multiple clients at the same time. This will allow you to save time on manual, repetitive tasks, especially if you have a number of payrolls that don't change from week to week, or where a large number of single director companies are on the payroll software. Speaking with an accountant just last week, actually, she was telling me that she had a part-time employee, and this particular employee's only responsibility was to process payroll for single director companies 1 full day per week. And you could imagine that the look in her face when she realized that this could be done in minutes using the batch payroll processing option in BrightPay. She could essentially eliminate 1 full day's work per week. On to the next one is integration with the pension and accounting software systems. The latter are known as payroll journal integration. And look, in the past, payroll solutions and accounting systems stood side by side, but they rarely spoke or communicated directly with each other. This was a big problem for payroll processors because employee salary details needed to be entered in the payroll software, but the accounting software needed this information, of course, as well. Thanks to the strong partnerships we have pursued via API integrations, we have added the ability to connect BrightPay to a number of accounting packages, including Accounts IQ, Free Agent, Cashflow, QuickBooks Online, Stage 1, Field, and Xero, which isn't on there, didn't have room. So we're always adding to this list as we go along. Instead of having to manually enter the payroll journals into the accounting software, they can be sent directly from BrightPay to your general ledger at the click of a button. Processing times will be much faster as you'll be able to submit data in just a few clicks. It also eliminates the risk of mistakes, and let's be honest, human error is often associated with any manual data entry. Another example of API integration in BrightPay is our integration with various pension providers. You can send auto-enrollment files directly from BrightPay to a number of pension providers within the payroll software. This integration is available with Nest, Spark Pension, People's Pension, and Aviva. Without that integration, you would need to save the file, log into the pension provider online portal, and then, of course, manually upload the file, which our solution saves all that bother. Furthermore, often we hear when speaking with prospects that their current providers have APIs already. In truth, they don't work exactly how they should. I suppose how we differentiate to a lot of our competitors that we focus solely on payroll, and these APIs are not only being maintained, but this list is also added to as demand sees fit. Another way you can be more efficient is by using a software that has simplified furlough processing. Payroll firms and accountants are being massively impacted by COVID-19 and are very much on the front line assisting clients, often at no additional charge. For most of you, getting your clients through the past 12 months has not been plain sailing, to put it very lightly. Furlough pay calculations and CGRS claim reports are complex, and clients risk fines for incorrect claims, as we all know. Just to give you a bit of insight into how BrightPay catered for the coronavirus job retention scheme. Software includes 2 independent tools to assist users who have furloughed employees. Firstly, BrightPay has a furlough pay calculator to help users calculate employees' furlough pay each pay period. And this, of course, includes support for flexible furlough, which is something that many other providers do not support currently. As well, our solution has a CGRS claim report to make it easier for the user when making a claim via Hmrc's online claim portal. Our response to COVID-19 and how we have helped our customers throughout the past year led to BrightPay winning a COVID-19 Hero Award for suppliers at the Accounting Excellence Awards. In particular, the judges recognized that we went above and beyond to support payroll professionals at a time when they were under pressure with furlough schemes and trying to interpret guidance. In a recent customer survey, BrightPay's overall response to COVID-19 was rated 98.6%, and this included payroll upgrades, webinars, online guidance, and of course, customer support. Next, we're moving on to our self-service portals and how they can help you introduce automation and integration into your payroll processes, and moreover, how they can help you improve profitability and saving time. From a client's perspective, clients can access what they need with no bureau intervention needed. So no longer are you getting phone calls or emails out of the blue. They have 24/7 access to the information that they need. Generally speaking, accountants email reports and employees' pay slips to clients each pay period, which aside from security/GDPR issues, can be quite a laborious and time-consuming task. With a client, self-service portal such as BrightPay Connect, pay slips and payroll reports are automatically available to clients once the payroll is finalized, eliminating the need to email these to clients every pay period. This in turn provides many time-saving advantages for accountants, bookkeepings, and payroll bureaus such as yourselves. What's in it for the employee? Well, look, as well as the client, with the right payroll solution, the client's employees can also access their own GDPR compliant self-service portal. Again, with BrightPay Connect, employees can log to the portal on an internet browser or through a free employee app on their tablet or smartphone. Employees can log in and view a payslip library with a full history of their payslips. Online payslip access eliminates time spent distributing payslips to employees each pay period, and instead payslips are automatically available to employees either on the pay date or maybe one day before the payday. It's up to your choosing. And for bureaus, this offers massive time savings and increased productivity. And also, more importantly, bureaus no longer having to store passwords or reset them. This can all be done by the employees with ease anytime they wish. So next is increasing the responsibilities that your clients have as part of the payroll process. Accurately recording your client's employee hours can be a very cumbersome task, to say the least. Most accountants that I talk to receive their clients' payroll information on a spreadsheet, or even maybe in the body of an email, or even over the phone, God forbid. The payroll processor then needs to enter this pay information into the payroll software, leaving a lot of room for mistakes and human error along the way. And of course, there are the wasted hours of re-entering information that's already simply sitting in front of you. With BrightPay Connect's online client dashboard, there's a client payroll entry feature where the client can enter or upload the payroll information for their employees and additions and deductions for that pay period. Once the payroll bureau has reviewed the information that has been entered by the client, the data can be synchronized and pre-populated in BrightPay. Similar to the accounting software integration that I discussed earlier, this eliminates the need to re-enter the information into the software and the potential errors associated with manual data entry. Bureaus also have the ability to send a payroll summary to the client for their approval before finalizing the payroll. And this works in a very similar manner. Clients can review and then authorize the payroll run at the click of a button through their secure online portal. Ultimately, your clients become 100% accountable for ensuring the payroll information is indeed correct before the payroll is finalized, as well as all time and date stamp, and can be quite useful for those particularly prickly clients one may have. Last but certainly not least then is the value added extras for clients. Online client dashboards like BrightPay Connect can include some very handy HR features that can help your clients with managing annual leave, distributing HR documents and resources, and communicating with employees. It's very easy to pass these on to your clients for an additional fee, as these are all tangible benefits for clients. The client can also improve workflows and save money on expensive HR systems they're currently using. Other things that the employee can do on their employee app is view and update personal details, access employee documents, and even view their annual leave calendar and their leave balance remaining, all from their smartphones. You can even request annual leave on the go. And personally, that's my favorite feature with my own employee app, just being able to request leave wherever I am. The online flexibility of a smartphone app gives employees a better experience while reducing administrative time for both payroll bureaus and clients. You no longer need to deal with employee requests for past or lost payslips or answering leave balance inquiries. So look, I know not everyone in today's webinar uses BrightPay, far be it. So I suppose just to give you a little bit of an introduction to who we are.
Niall, just before we go on to that, can you, because I've got some questions that have come in that relate to what you've just been sharing.
Please.
And if you're going to cover these later in the session, just say so and we'll move on. So, David, I've got your question. I know we're definitely going to cover that a bit later, so I'll get to that in a bit. Sebastian's asked, Brightpe Connect, after an employee has left, how long after the tax year can they log on to see their pay slips for?
Yeah. So I think that'll be covered by Alan later on, but it's a very good question. We leave that up to the bureaus or the clients. Often a rule of thumb I hear is give the employee access for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, gives them a timeline to download the information that they need, and then you can simply remove access thereafter.
Okay, brilliant, thank you. And then Stuart has said, does it connect to QuickBooks as well as Xero?
It does indeed, yeah. It connects to QuickBooks Online.
Excellent. Pradeep has asked, we can send payroll journals to API to Xero, but we can't change the payroll description or something similar. Journal also adds Hmrc national insurance, and we need to manually amend the journal in Xero, which defeats the purpose of the integration. Now, I think, again, we might be covering this in a bit because that's connected with the employment allowance, which I know is a conversation that comes up quite a bit. So are we covering that in a bit, or is that something that we can address now?
Yeah, with regards to the payroll journals, I might hook in either Anne or maybe Rachel on that one.
Okay, what we'll do is
in there.
Yeah, go on then.
In relation to the employment allowance within the journals, that's not there yet. It's on the development list. Okay, so the employment allowance, I think that's the question.
Brilliant, yeah.
Yeah, it's on the development list, but it's not there at the moment.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. So
and
that one,
as for the descriptions, maybe we can take that. I'll deal with that question later on. If that particular participant wants to email me, there may be a way around it if we talk to support.
Brilliant, excellent. Thank you. Any plans to automatically paste the payroll journals in the future? Perhaps we'll touch that on the roadmap a bit later as well, should we?
Is that
paste the?
Sorry, post. That's post. That's my Norfolk coming out there.
No worries. We can talk about that later on. Yeah.
Brilliant, excellent. Thank you. Sorry,
No, thank you for them questions so far. So look, a bit of a background about who we are at BrightPay. BrightPay is an award-winning payroll software that makes managing payroll quick and easy. At the moment, our products are used to process the payroll for over 320,000 businesses across the UK and Ireland, and we have been developing payroll software for almost 30 years. With a 99% customer satisfaction rate, BrightPay was the winner payroll software of the year awards in both 2018 and 2019, and I think we just missed out for 2020, but look, always next year. So look, first and foremost, one of the most common questions we get is, are we fully cloud yet? And if we're not, when are we? So look, it's a very good question, and it's the future. By default, first and foremost, we are desktop-based payroll software, and it does allow up to 10 separate users' devices to access BrightPay. Sometimes people are under the impression that we need to be fully cloud to have multiple users. That's not the case. But look, we of course understand the importance of a cloud alternative instead. And truthfully, for the past couple of years, our development team has been working on such. And we originally aimed to have it available for April next month. However, as we all know, COVID happened and their hands were collectively placed on, Hmrc legislative changes instead. We do hope to release our fully cloud alternative initially as a beta version towards the tail end of this year. This will be made available free for existing customers only. Pricing hasn't been finalized, but look, it will be kept in line with desktop and Connect pricing together. So just let you know what's around the corner for ourselves. It is our top priority. So as mentioned, currently it is a desktop-based software and it is available for both Windows and Mac. And as mentioned, all of our BrightPay licenses include 10 activations, which means that payroll processing is possible by up to 10 users, or another way of looking at it, from 10 different locations, I should say, which is definitely applicable as we all work from home more and more. This is very handy for you to have a number of employees work from home and all needing access to the payroll software at the same time. And as I mentioned, we do also have an optional cloud add-on called BrightPay Connect, which we're going to have a look at in a few minutes by Ellen. With BrightPay Connect, you can have online access to the payroll data, but the payroll itself is still processed on the desktop application of BrightPay. So now I'm going to jump into the software itself and show you some of the features that I've covered on the previous slides. So first and foremost, this is BrightPay Payroll Software, and here's the screen you see when you initially open the payroll software. And here you have an overview of all of your clients. To start, to access BrightPay's batch processing functionality, simply click on Batch Operations. And by clicking this tab, it allows you to batch send all of your outstanding RTI and CIS submissions. You can batch finalize your currently open pay periods, and you can batch check for coding notices. So each of these can be done for multiple employers at the same time. Today I'm going to batch finalize the payroll, but the other two options work exactly the same. Here we can pick and choose the employers that we'd like to finalize. You can select all the employers, or you can choose employers based on their color code. So in this instance, we can color code all the single directors. So I select all the employers that are color coded as green, and when ready, we simply click Run towards the bottom of the window. And BrightPay will finalize the next open pay period for each of these companies. And as I said, this is very handy if you have a large number of single director companies, or simply where the payroll doesn't change from week to week. So now I'm going to actually dive into one of our payrolls. I'm going to start with Alan's Auto Repairs. And if I click into a particular employee, let's start with Benedict Taylor. Under Additions and Deductions, I have an option to add furlough pay, which we see right there. First, I need to say yes, I am eligible. And on the next screen, I simply need to enter the employee's regular monthly salary. And for the purpose of the demo, I'll enter £2,000. And now BrightPay has calculated the reclaimable monthly furlough pay. If an employee is flexibly furloughed, you have the option to enter the usual hours worked and the actual hours worked. Top up to meet the employer's regular wage, not top up or top up by custom amount is the options that we provide for you. I'm just going to stick with top up to meet their regular wage for the purpose of this scenario. And finally, we click Apply. Gives you a little pop-up message, and once happy, we'll click Yes, I wish to continue. And as you can now see, the furlough addition has been added and the monthly pay has been reduced to the top-up amount. The second tool that BrightPay has to assist users with furlough is, of course, a claim report. So if I simply click into the Employees tab at the top, here I have an option for the CGRS report. Here we just need to fill out some details such as the claim period that we wish to claim for and how furlough is to be determined. On the next screen, select employees that you wish to claim for. By default, most are selected. Click Continue. Here we have a summary of all of our employees for this particular payroll and the claimable furlough pay for each employee. Where an employee is flexibly furloughed, we simply can change this to that setting if needs be. And then we need to enter the usual hours worked. So for the purpose of this weekly paid employee, we'll click in 40 hours. And in this case, we'll actually have it matching as well. So BrightPay can then work out the furloughed hours. When you've reviewed all employees and are ready, simply click Continue. And on the final screen, you'll have a claim summary with the amounts needed when making a claim. And you can save and also export this as a PDF for your own records. Of course, for payrolls with over 100 employees, you can export this as a CSV file and upload it directly on the Hmrc Payroll portal as per their instruction, of course, saving you time. Moving on, I'm going to click back into the payroll section. I'm going to show a quick example of one of our partnerships with the free agent side of things and the accounting software that we offer. BrightPay includes integration with a number, as you can see, and we've actually have since added, but they all work in a very similar manner. First, with this free agent scenario, we need to enter the date range, and BrightPay will include all finalized pay periods across all pay frequencies within the specified date range. You can also decide if you wish to include individual journal records for each employee, or if you want to merge employee records into total records for each unique payment date. On the next screen, we have the nominal ledger mapping. So here you need to decide whether you want things to get posted to in your accounting software. And because I've used this API before, it has saved the nominal ledger mapping, so I need to do it each and every time. The first time you're using the API, you just need to select the account where you want things to get posted. When you've completed this, we can go on to the next screen, of course. And on the next screen, we have variables. So where we want figures to be posted to a different nominal account in the accounting software. And variations can be depending on period type, directorship, departments, specific rates, additions, deductions, the list goes on. On the final screen, the journal is displayed for you to review, and once happy, simply click Send to Free Agent once comfortable. BrightPay is now sending the payroll journal to Free Agent directly. And there we have confirmation that it was successfully sent, and it's as easy as that each pay period. If I'd have more time, I'd of course show you our pension API with the likes of NES, for example, but it really isn't too dissimilar to what we've just seen. So that concludes my section.
Niall, just before you move on, Niall, can I just, there's a few quick questions, I think. Natalie's asked, can the payroll journals be exported to Excel?
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah, you have that choice as well.
Perfect, excellent. Pradeep, can we have a different people / managers for different departments who can approve the payroll for their departments? So can you allocate different customers to different clients? Brilliant. So that's a yes to that. Is that you, Anne?
Yes. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Anne. Sorry. Any plans to automatically post the payroll journals in the future? That's one. Oh, and then this is one that comes up a little bit, and I know this is to a degree in connection with the batch processing of the directors' payrolls. Can we apply tax code changes for all employers instead of doing it on an individual employer basis?
You'll get a list from Hmrc and you'll have to apply them. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you apply them globally, Anne, or do you have to do them per employee? So,
it'll give you the list and you'll have to apply them to each employer.
Brilliant. Excellent. Thank you. That's it for me then, Niall, just for the minute.
Of course, absolutely. And thanks for those questions. And now I'm going to stop sharing my screen and pass it over to my colleague, Ellen, who's going to look at our Cloud Add-on Connect.
Great. Thank you very much, Niall. That was great.
Thank you.
Now, so thanks again for that, Niall. So some of you may or may not have heard of BrightPay Connect. So I'm going to go into it in some more detail now in this demo. But basically, before I do that, BrightPay Connect is basically an add-on to our payroll software. So the Connect feature provides a secure and automated way to back up and restore your payroll data on your PC to and from the cloud. So it'll back it up to Microsoft Azure every 15 minutes. So you can be rest assured if your computer ever crashed or your server got hacked, that you will always have a backup there ready to restore and continue to run the payroll. BrightPay Connect also provides a web-based self-service dashboard for your clients and a mobile app or a web browser for your employees, so they can log in and access their payroll data. Employees can even request things like annual leave, update their personal details, which once approved will synchronize back to the payroll software. The payroll entry request allows clients to easily and securely enter in their employee hours on the Connect dashboard, saving you, the Bureau, hours of administrative time. And finally, all communication between BrightPay on your PC and through BrightPay Connect servers are all carried out in a safe channel with maximum security. So I'll now show you what it looks like here. So you'll have your payroll software, and at the top right, you'll see a green cloud. And that's how you know that this particular client, Allen Auto Repairs, is syncing up to Connect. So as I said, it will back it up to the cloud every 15 minutes to Microsoft Azure, but you can just take a little manual backup here if you would wish to take one now. When you click on the Restore from Cloud Backup, you'll see all your backups here in chronological order. Once you click back on the green cloud, it will say Go to Employer Dashboard, and this is how you will access Connect. So as you can see here, we have a few clients on BrightPay Connect, and one common question that is often asked is, do you have to bring all your clients onto Connect, or can you pick a select few? So yes, you can bring a select few onto Connect, although we would recommend that you do bring all your clients on just for the backup purposes as well, but you can pick and choose which client would like to use it. We have a users tab here. So you have two options. So you could set up your colleague in your bureau as an administrator, so they would have access to everything, or you can set up one of your colleagues maybe as a standard user, and they would have a more limited access to Connect. We'd also recommend that you would set up your client as a standard user as well. And once you do this, they will have 24/7 access, 365 days a year access to their payroll information. So again, you'll find that they'll be in touch a lot less because they can just log in whenever they want and access their information. When we click on the Requests tab here, so we have two really fantastic features here, and our bureaus really, really love to use these with their clients. So Noel did mention them earlier. It's the Payroll Entry and the Payroll Approval Request. So the Payroll Entry request allows clients to easily and securely enter in their employee hours on the BrightPay Connect employer dashboard, saving the Bureau hours of administrative time. Any additions and deductions that have been set up in the Bureau in the payroll software can also be selected by the employer. All the information included in the payroll entry request, such as payments, additions and deductions, or new hire information, it will seamlessly flow to the Bureau's portal ready for payroll processing. And everything is time-stamped here as well, so your client really becomes jointly accountable for ensuring that the payroll information is 100% correct before the payroll is finalised. Therefore, it's protecting you as the Bureau and protecting your clients. So I'll just show you how it works here. So you'll click Start Payroll Entry. We'll select the client that we want to do this for. We'll select the user within the client, and we'll select which pay period we'd like the payroll entry for. You can select a payroll entry for all the employees or a subset of employees. So for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to select Christopher, Donna, and Haley, and we'll click Submit. So now you'll see then in your Bureau dashboard that you're waiting on a response for all these clients here. Your client will then get a notification to log into their Connect portal, and when they log in, they will see that the payroll entry is here ready for them to action. Once they click on this, the 3 employees will appear, and if they click on the first employee, they can decide what information they want to input. So Christopher, for example, has a weekly pay of £150, but we're going to add in an hourly pay here. And we're going to select 8 hours at £12. And again, the pay rates that are set up on the payroll software will be here and displayed, so they can select them if they wish. So for now, we'll just keep it at the £12. And if we flick down, we can add in an addition or a deduction as well. So I'm going to add in an expense reimbursement here for Christopher for £20. Once I'm happy, I can mark it as complete. I can move on to my next employee, or I can go back to the list. So there's a little cogwheel here, and when you click on that, I can mark all the employees as complete. I can add in some new hire information if I have a new hire in this particular pay period. And if I have a CSV file of all the hours worked or any additions or deductions, they can be imported here by our client. And once they match up the columns, it will then be displayed here and it can be sent across to the Bureau. So we'll mark them all as complete, and at the very end as well, your client can also input in some notes, which is a very great feature too. So once they're finished, that was sent across, and then the Bureau gets notified that they've received the payroll entry. When the Bureau clicks on it, they will see the new information that's been inputted here. And again, they can click all looks good, I'm ready to load this into BrightPay. So when they open the payroll software, they will see here now that the payroll entry is ready to be downloaded. Once they click that, they'll click confirm and click OK. And now the payroll information has all very easily and seamlessly flowed straight across from the client straight onto the payroll software. So again, no data entry on the side of the Bureau, which would save a huge amount of time. And again, it really does lead to less data entry errors, which can occur, by doing this all manually. So we can now see the 8 hours have come across with the addition as well. If we click back up here at requests, we can then also select the payroll approval request. So again, the payroll approval allows the Bureau to securely send their clients a payroll summary before the payroll is finalised. Clients can then review and authorise the details for that pay period through their online Connect dashboard. And ultimately, again, your client will be accountable for ensuring that the payroll information is 100% correct. So I'll just show you how it works now. It's very similar to the payroll entry. Again, you select your client and the user. And again, you can decide if you want to include all the employees or a subset. So once that's sent, again, your client will get the notification to log in. They'll click preview. If they're happy that everything is correct here, they can click all looks good and approve the pay run. You, the Bureau, will be then notified to see that the response has been received. And again, you can click into it and you'll see that it was approved by Alan Sawyer. It's also great because you can see the audit trail at the end. So everything again is time-stamped. And once you're happy, we'll click up here to finalize on the pay run. Another lovely feature with Connect as well is that for your own Bureau, you can add in your logo and your Bureau details. So again, it just makes it look more professional and more personable. And when your client logs in, they will see your logo here. I'll now just briefly talk you through what Connect looks like for your client. So again, when they log in, they'll have notifications on the left and their company information on the right. When they click on the employee tab, they'll see all their list of their employees here. And if they wish to send out the invitation emails to the employees, they will all be emailed and they will all set up their Connect accounts and they will be able to access their information. So either you as a Bureau or your client can send the invitation emails. The reports, so again, any reports that are set up in the payroll software will be here and displayed for your client to review. You can also set up customized reports in the payroll software. And once you do that, they'll be visible here for them to view. So again, if they want, they can click on a payroll summary. They can select their to and from dates, all their employees, and then they can run the report. And if they wish, they can export it out by PDF and CSV. And absolutely, all the clients, customers that I deal with say this saves a huge amount of time because historically they would have had to email reports. So this just really is a great feature and saves a lot of time. So the calendar tab then is basically where all the calendar information is displayed for your employees. So for instance, here we can see that Carla has an annual leave day. So all the different leave types are in different colours. So annual leave is here in yellow, sick leave is in red, parenting leave is in green, leave of absence is in orange. So the employees can only request annual leave or unpaid leave. Every other leave type would have to be inputted here by the payroll team or by the client. The calendar can be turned off as well. A lot of bureaus don't want to get involved with holidays or sometimes, you know, clients have a different system, so this can be turned off if needs be. Hmrc Payments Tab, so this increases the visibility for their client. They can see what's outstanding, what has been paid, and again, all these figures come across from the payroll software. There's also a really great feature that you can set a reminder on Connect. So on the 15th of every month, your client will be automatically emailed to say a reminder to pay their outstanding balances to Hmrc. And that's another great feature bureaus often say to me, saves a lot of time. And then documents here. So either yourself, the bureau, or your clients can come in here and upload documents and make them visible to all the employees or to a select few employees. So usually customers would upload contracts of employment, handbooks, anything that's a PDF can be uploaded here. You can also see how many times an employee has actually viewed a document. And you can also upload a link. So sometimes people like to upload a link to a training course, so the employee can log in and register for that. I'll just very briefly show you what the employee will see when they log into Connect as well. So this is their login page through the browser. When they log in, they'll have, again, notifications on the left and their employee information on the right. When they click on documents, they'll see all their payslips here. And when they actually select one, they'll be able to see all their information here now. And no matter how many times you email payslips, they always seem to get lost. So at least when they have the app or their browser on Connect, they can just log in, view their payslips and download them. Especially you'll find for employees that are going for mortgages, they can just log in here, download their payslips for the last 6 months, and they don't have to bother anybody in HR or in the payroll team. So it's a really great feature to have. Under documents, again, all the HR information or any kind of PDF can be available here for them to view and download. And then finally, the My Details, they can view and change their address or their next of kin details. And once this is approved by their manager, it'll update the payroll software. And again, this is very important with GDPR. You need to have the most up-to-date information for your employees. So this really puts the onus on the employee to keep their information up to date. So I'll just very briefly show you how the app looks for the employee. So they will get a notification when their payslip is available to view. Once they do, they can select into it and they will see all their information here. When they click on the Documents tab, they'll see payroll documents, and when they select that, they will see all their documents here available to review and download. If the employee wants, they can request annual leave through the app and they can see how many days annual leave they've left as well. And then finally, they can update their address or their next of kin details as well through the app. So that concludes the end of the BrightPay Connect demonstration. I hope you've enjoyed it and you can see how easy it is to use, how it increases efficiencies, saves the payroll team a lot of time, and provides a really excellent service to your clients and their employees. I just briefly want to give you some top tips on migrating your payroll to BrightPay and how to make the transition as easy and quick as possible. So our first tip is to check if your current software allows you to export employee information. So BrightPay includes the ability to import employee information via a CSV format or an FPS format. If your current provider does not allow for either of these options, it will have to be a manual setup. We have some further information on our website, which I'll talk about in a few moments, that is there to help and assist you. Our next tip is to allow yourself enough time. It's important that you allow yourself enough time to perform the import before your next payroll run. Performing this import well in advance will allow you to cross-check all your information and make sure that everything has come across okay, and just to allow for some additional setup, such as for your pensions, any additions or deductions or calendar information. If you still have access to your previous software, that's also a good tip as well. Just in case if you do migrate over and there has been an error, you can go back in and pull your file out again. It's also great as well just to cross-check that the employee data has all come across as well. Another tip that we have is to do a parallel run. So if you do have access to your previous software, it's a really great exercise to run the two side by side. And it's a good way to determine that everything has been set up and that there's no inaccuracies. And finally, the last tip is that we have a dedicated support documentation on our website. And there's two ways to access this. So the first way is if you go onto brightpay.co.uk, at the top right, you'll see a support tab. And then you'll see payroll support documentation. And we have a search bar there, or we have some help sheets along the left-hand side. And there is a help sheet there called Moving to BrightPay from another payroll software. And in there, you'll see all our help sheets on how to move from Sage, Iris, Moneysoft, QTAC, 12Pay, and many more. The second way is to click back on the website, click on support at the top right, and then you'll see there's an option to select, which is called Switch to BrightPay. And in that help sheet, there's loads and loads of information on how to migrate and more top tips for you. Just to note as well, we also have a migration team here at BrightPay that can assist you in moving your data and help you with it. They can assist with any issues or any questions that you do have about the migration process. So calls with our migration team do need to be booked in advance, and it is free of charge as well. Our 21-22 software was released yesterday, so that can now be downloaded and bought on our website. We're very excited to announce that we have an integration with Modular, giving you a fast and secure and easy way to pay your employees through BrightPay. This will eliminate a need to create bank files and the manual process of uploading the file to make the payment to your employees. We're also introducing a new multi-user feature that works in conjunction with BrightPay Connect to improve the working from home experience. So there's a version checking when you're opening up an employer, or another user's check when opening up an employer. We will also be extending furlough pay and CGRS in the new software for the new tax year. And we also have some new journal APIs as well. So we have one with ClearBooks, FreshBooks, QuickFile, and Zoho. And then, as Noel mentioned earlier, our developers are currently working on a BrightPay fully cloud-based payroll software. So we're really excited for this. And there will be more communication made out to our customers in due course. Another feature that we're also looking to look into later down the line is where employees can actually input their hours worked as well into BrightPay Connect. So that will be another feature, hopefully down the line, that we can integrate in. So that's everything for me. I'll now pass you back to Niall, who's just going to go through our pricing.
Thank you very much, Adam, for all of that. I really appreciate it. So yeah, diving into our pricing, we're very transparent about it. We only have two costs. Firstly, we have a standard license, which won't apply to most of you. We know that. I suppose the reason I decided to include it in is every so often you may have a client who is adamant and wishes to pay for the license themselves. Whilst not advised in such a scenario, it ranges from between £99 to £199 per tax year. And then, of course, we have the version, which is for payroll bureaus and accountants such as yourselves. And as you can see, this starts at £249 up to 10 clients, or at the other end of the scale, up to £499 per tax year. And that's for unlimited employers and unlimited employees. Prices are per tax year, excluding VAT. And as mentioned earlier, each of these licenses can be installed on up to 10 different PCs or laptops. And all of our pricing includes free phone, email, and also migration assistance, as mentioned by Ellen. On to Connect then. As you can see, the prices are there in front of you. It's a monthly cost, and it's a separate cost as well. It's purely based on usage. They're simply benchmarks and nothing more. We don't have bands or anything like that, like we used to. So as mentioned, it's purely based on usage in that month, so you never have to pay for what you use. Customers are invoiced monthly in arrears based on the number of employees in total that you have in your payroll within that month. So as mentioned, an example, not including those benchmarks, is let's say you have 46 employees in total synced onto Connect for a particular month, you'd be paying just £14.58. That's for all 46 employees which works out at 32 pence per employee per month. And think of all the headaches saved. Economies of scale discount is also built into our pricing automatically. So looking at the second last benchmark, for argument's sake, it works out at almost 15 pence per employee per month. And as mentioned, we want Connect to be the right fit for you guys. So for all those registered for this session, we are in a position to offer 3 months Connect trial as complimentary. Reason being, you can simply try it for yourselves before making any final decisions on it. So that concludes our demonstration for today, and we of course thank you for your time and attention, and open the floor to any questions you may have.
Brilliant, Niall and Ellen, thank you very much. We've got lots of questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw them at you, and then the most appropriate, if hands around as well, the most appropriate person can answer them. Just one from me to start with. So on the documents on Connect, I run the payroll. Sorry, I have a payroll bureau that runs the payroll for Greenstones, and then I go in and approve the payroll. Is it possible for somebody else in the team to upload the contracts or upload the handbooks without them being able to see what everybody's being paid?
Yeah, there is. So when you set up that person, you would set them up as a standard user, and you can then only give them access to upload documents. So yeah, you can do that.
Brilliant. Excellent. Thank you. When a client has approved or declined a payroll, there's no email to notify the action. Is this to be enabled? So is that something that can be done?
So what's more, Simon?
Sorry, when you upload to Connect the payroll to be approved, does the payroll bureau get confirmation via email that it's been approved or declined?
Absolutely. Yeah, you're notified. It's purely linear. So it leaves the desk of the bureau onto the client. Once they action it, you're then notified.
Brilliant. So Vicky, if that's not happening, then that's perhaps a support call to make sure that sets up. And then Vicky's asked, once the client has set up a payment to Hmrc, are they going to be able to input the date paid?
No, not at the moment. It is a request that we've got a lot, so it is on the development list. But I've no timescales on that just yet.
Thank you. Pradeep's asked, will the reminder still go to the client if we haven't updated the payments made for the previous month?
Sorry, to say that again, Simon?
So will the reminders still go to the client if we haven't updated the payments for the previous month? So I think that's what that's referring to, is whether the reminders goes to the customer, goes to the employer. So they wouldn't go if you've not run the payroll for the previous month, the reminders for the next month wouldn't go because the previous month hadn't been finished off as yet. But that's
you have to manually send the payroll entry. They're not automated. So you do have to go in and actually send the payroll entry each pay period. Excellent.
Thank you. So if that's not answered your question, Pradeep, if you just want to rephrase it and send it in again, then I will gladly re-put that. Do you have to input when paid, or does it auto pick up from Hmrc or the accounting software? I think you manually have to input it. Is that correct? So this is on the PAYE again, I would imagine, on the PAYE payment to Hmrc. Does the software automatically pick up the payment from Hmrc, or do you have to input the date?
I'll jump in there. You'll have to put the date. We're going back to the same thing where we're talking about, filling out, the client filling out when they've actually made that payment. It's on the development list.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's the same question, but just slightly different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vicky's asked, how can we adjust the holiday entitlement for employees that have been on flexi furlough, whose holiday is calculated on hours worked? So that for me just blew my mind when I read that the first time. So it's mentally, it's difficult enough for me to get my head around all that holiday and flexi furlough and whatnot work. So whether the software can do that or not, is it possible? Do you know?
I think, Vicky, we'll take that up with support. There may be a way of manually adjusting their entitlements, but Vicky, if afterwards, I'll get your email address and I'll address it with support.
Brilliant. Thank you, Anne. Jason's asked, I'm in the process of migrating to BrightPay, and one of our tasks is to inform our clients and explain the benefits of BrightPay. Do you have any literature that we can use to send to them?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we have a kitchen sink that I can share. If you just share me them details, happy to pass it on Payroll and Connect with videos as well.
Brilliant, thank you. So that if you make contact Jason, then they'll be passed on. Also, I don't know whether I've said this, but Niall's put in the chat box a link for you to click for you to get a more in-depth demonstration of BrightPay and to be able to get into your individual specific situations around how BrightPay and BrightPay Connect might work for you. Heidi's asked about the employees and how Connect is build. Heidi, if we didn't answer those questions, then please feel free to repost, but it's all on the website as well. Niall, did you say?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So with regards to Connect, it's all automated. That's the whole theme of Connect. It's automatic. So let's say you set up a Connect in March, your first bill won't be until the 1st of April. Does a quick scan and debits your card, but obviously we have the 3-month trial, so you wouldn't even get a bill for 4 months.
Brilliant, thank you. And Jason's asked, when will Modular be available for Mac? Do you know?
Sorry, I'll jump in there. It's down the line. It's not available yet. We're just in the middle of just rolling it out for the on Windows for the beginning of the tax year, and Mac will come afterwards. But I can check to see where we are on the development list for Mac. Yeah.
Brilliant. And if you let us know, Anne, then I'll put that on the email when we send out the recording.
Yeah,
so
yeah, absolutely.
Everybody can get shared with that. Graham's asked, is it possible to have a different staff member to send the request for the payroll without them having access to all clients on BrightPay Connect? My payroll is on BrightPay Connect and I don't want my staff to see the payroll.
Absolutely, yeah. So when I was showing you the demo, there was an administrator user or a standard user. So an administrator would have access to confidential companies. So there is an option in BrightPay Connect where you can mark your internal payroll as confidential. So only administrators would see that. So in your case, then you would set that user up as a standard user. They can still do everything that the admin can do, but they just won't be able to see the internal payroll. So we have a security feature in BrightPay Connect for that. And similarly, in the payroll software, you can password protect your internal payroll as well.
Thank you. And then Rebecca's asked, and this is a question that comes up for me mentally as well. So Rebecca's asked, how do we color code clients? Is it possible to color code clients?
Yeah,
absolutely. On the dashboard, you simply right-click that payroll and you can choose the code that you wish to use. Very easy.
So whatever color you want to use, whatever color you want to allocate to that client on the dashboard. So
it's called labeling.
Labeling as opposed to coloring. Oh, okay,
exactly,
brilliant.
Labeling. So you can color code, say all your single directors as green. You can then allocate employees who manage those particular employers as well. So there's a good bit of functionality there.
Brilliant. So if you are effectively batch processing direct to payrolls, you don't have to remember which one of them are.
No, you just choose all the green and just they'll stream down and then just send. Yeah, and likewise with static payrolls, you could have all your static that never change, say in orange, if you want to differentiate them out between the single directors and static payrolls. By that I mean unchanged, they don't change from month to month.
Yeah, they're just a bog standard PA or
exactly.
Yeah, brilliant, excellent. Thank you. Then Neil's asked, we outsource payroll which is prepared on BrightPay. We can access pay slips and reports but cannot run the payroll. Therefore, we have no control. What's the best way for us to have control and give full access to the payroll provider? I'm not sure I understand that question. And then if you want to, do you get that, Anne?
Are they a single employer whose accountant also uses BrightPay? Is that what we're talking about? That they have their own license, but their accountant also uses BrightPay?
That's right, yeah, because that's what I do. So I outsource my payroll at Greenstones to a payroll provider. We can access the pay slips. I can access the pay slips, but we cannot run the payroll. I'm not sure why you would, if you're outsourcing the payroll, Neil, I'm not sure why you would want to run the payroll. But perhaps if you want to give me some clarity on that, Neil, because I'd basically Greenstones, I outsource my payroll to somebody else and they send me the pay slips and the reports at the end of the month and that is it. So I don't want to be running my own payroll, but perhaps I've misinterpreted that, Neil. But please, if you've got another question on that, then let me know, or I'll have a conversation with you off air with regards to how I do that at Greenstones.
Just on that, Simon, I was speaking to a similar situation a couple of weeks back, and for those particular files, they have it in a certain folder, such as OneDrive or Google Drive or whatever, Dropbox, and then they give access. So both are working from the same files. So certainly doable.
Excellent, thank you. I'm just very conscious of the time because we're just about to go over time, and I've got 4 more questions too. Oh, I've got you. So Neil is saying it's about in case of emergencies. So he's outsourced to somebody, and if for whatever reason they get hit by a bus, can he then go in and sort of override that? And I imagine for security reasons and all the rest of it, the answer to that will be no.
Well, it depends if they have the file in a shared location that both sides have access to.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So, and you can password protect that file as well, so nobody else has access.
Yeah. So as long as it's in a shared directory where both parties can get access to it, if you need to take it over in a rush, then you can get. Okay, brilliant. Thank you. If we buy a payroll bureau license for 25 employees, do we have access to a demo or trial company as well? So does the practice bureau get a trial company?
Absolutely, yeah. It's actually pre-programmed in the software, so you can right-click, download a sample file, and there's a 2-month trial on the payroll before making any decisions.
Brilliant, thank you. And then Pradeep's asked in the chat box, how do you get the 3 months trial on BrightPay Connect? Well, you click the link that Niall and Mark have posted in the chat box, Pradeep, and then that will go through to a special magical place that does that automatically somewhere in the internet. Stephen's asked, if we run a client webinar to demonstrate the benefits of BrightPay, would anybody from BrightPay be able to join us to run part of the session?
Yeah, any of us, I'm sure, could. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Any of us 3. Absolutely. Yeah, no problem.
Excellent. Thank you, Stephen. And as part of the batch processing of payroll, are you able to set it so that software either emails or exports the finalized reports and pay slips to the employer, or is it best for this to be done through BrightPay Connect?
Connect.
Do it through BrightPay Connect and all the added security and everything that comes along with that. So I'm sorry, go on, Anne. Did you want to just throw some?
No, I'm good.
I was just conscious that I'm now 2 minutes over time. Sorry, Pradeep says that the link takes you to the demo page. Is that where you need to go to select the time, Niall? Is that the...
Exactly. What we did was just very high level. So if you pop your details in, you'll be able to hop on a demo, and one of us will be in touch after, go over any questions and follow it up.
Brilliant. And they'll know, Pradeep, then that's where that's come from. So brilliant. So in order to not keep people away from cups of coffee and biscuits and all the rest of it at 11sies, we'll tidy that up there now. So quick thank you to everybody that's come along today and asked some brilliant questions. It always amazes me how people come up with different ways of processing stuff and challenging around what I consider to be the norm. And as I said, the power of these conversations and the wonders of Niall, Ellen and Anne coming along to answer on the spot questions that are coming from all different angles, I think is fantastic. So thank you very much for that. And also thank you to Anne, Niall and Ellen for coming along and doing such a wonderful job this morning, showing us how BrightPay and BrightPay Connect work. And there'll be a video comes out and the email and all the rest of it. And as of course, if anybody has got any questions for either Niall, Ellen or Anne, then book the demo and everybody will be able to ask those questions. So that just leaves me to do a virtual round of applause for everybody. And say brilliant, thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks Simon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching this session with Ellen, Anne and Niall, all about BrightPay and BrightPay Connect. As always, if you've got any questions or comments, please post them below the video. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel so you'll get notified when we upload any future videos. You'll also see on your screen down here somewhere our suggestions for you to watch next.